Well, that was a terrifying experience. So yesterday, if you're on Stacker Social on Discord, you know that I was on national TV yesterday on the Fox Business Network on a show called The Big Money Show with Jackie Taylor and Brian. And they wanted to talk about Costco gold because it seems like that's the number one thing in the news nowadays. They're doing a reported $200 million a month in sales. And I think when I bought this gold bar from Costco, I think they did 100 million for the quarter. I could be wrong, but I know it was 100 million, but I thought it was for the quarter and not monthly. So they've had a meteoric rise in demand for this stuff. And so they did an interview. They interviewed me on live TV. I was petrified because I have this incredible fear of public speaking. Kind of an odd thing for a person to have a YouTube channel if they're petrified of public speaking, but I'm not. My face isn't normally on the camera, and so it's a little bit easier. And plus, I can delete the video if I don't, if I want to. So it was a really short segment, but I had like all these notes, like stuff I wanted to talk about, and even down at the bottom, I wanted to mention Salivate Metal and Economic Ninja, but I didn't get a chance to do a lot of that stuff. But I figured I would just let you guys know that I'll put a link down below to the video. But one thing that I was surprised about was that 365 Days of Silver helped me a bit overcome my stage fright. I mentioned in Stackers Social, I'll put a link to that Discord group below as well. This is where all the stacking community kind of hangs out there in Discord. But I mentioned on there, because I was like literally petrified. I was like, I'm going live on the air in 30 minutes. I posted in Stacker Social. And 365 goes, oh, good luck, mate. Make sure you try and slip the word cabbage into the video, into the interview. And I was like, I'll try. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, how am I going to say the word cabbage on live TV and not look weird? So that kind of distracted me because I'm trying to think of how can I say the word cabbage on live TV and have it sound natural. And I was able to do it, but I think that little goal was helped me get over the stage fright. It was a good interview, and the producer said the anchors really liked having me on, so it was nice. And I got on national TV because Connor, one of the producers, is I think he's a subscriber to my channel. If he's not, Connor, if you're watching this, you should be subscribing to my YouTube channel because I'm talking about you. But anyway, yeah, it was great. It was a fun interview. The anchors really made it easy for me. And it was, I don't know, it was a good experience. I wasn't as petrified once it started as I thought it would, but that's about it. So I wanted to talk about some of the things I wanted to talk about is how the history and how I started out stacking, and that was by stacking silver. That my parents back in the 80s, they would give me 1 ounce of silver every Christmas in my stocking. And the Economic Ninja had a thing that he was doing a couple years ago where it was hashtag silver in my stocking, and it went pretty. It got pretty popular. And then my parents also taught me to save any pocket change that I found that was 1964 or older. And then I also wanted to mention I did mention that I'd been saving money in silver, and that I considered this money. And then I said I usually convert this cabbage into real money, and that's how I slipped the cabbage in there, which was really cool. And then I mentioned that I don't view gold and silver as investments, more I view them as money. And they asked, they want to know why I bought it at Costco and what the end goal was. And I said, oh, I heard that Costco's selling gold. And there was a bunch of YouTubers saying, well, you shouldn't buy it from Costco, it's a bad idea. And Nolan Mathias, he's always got a bar of gold, and he says buying gold is stupid. And he's just uneducated as to why you buy gold. but I mentioned that I saw a lot of YouTubers either poo-pooing it or saying it was good or bad, but nobody bought it or done the experience, actually gone through with purchasing gold and then having it delivered. A lot of people have since I did it, but that's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to document the experience. And I wanted to let them know, it was kind of a difficult experience because it's always out of stock. It sells out within hours. And I wanted to recommend that everyone go to their local coin shop first. And if they can't afford an ounce of gold, I wanted to mention, like I always do on this channel, is to go to their local coin shop, no matter what your income level is or how your finances are, and to buy 2 ounces of silver, take them home and play with them, and just think about it. And if you are the praying kind, just pray about it. Pray and say, hey, is this something I should be doing? Ask God. Who knows? I also wanted to mention before you start buying gold and silver to make sure you're out of debt, and don't use credit cards to buy precious metals, thinking that it's going to go way up and then you can pay your credit card later, because Murphy's Law dictates that the opposite will happen. What else? I wanted to mention that you get a dopamine hit from buying this stuff. So kind of the same, it was like kind of the same dopamine hit if you were buying a new purse, if you're a lady, or whatever, or buying a new car part. I wanted to mention that you get that thrill of buying something when you're converting your money into this. And I did want to mention, because Brian asked me, he's like, hey, is that, I've heard a lot of people mention that they're trying to go off the grid or trying to get finances off the radar, and asked if I was trying to do the same thing. And I said, no, not really, because I'm a business owner and I own an office building downtown. And so I'm kind of like on every radar. I'm a firearms owner, so I'm on radars there. So I'm not going to sneak around and get away with too much, but I wanted to mention that it is kind of comforting having wealth outside of the system, though. And I had seen on other news networks, not on Fox, but on some of their competing networks, that they kind of make fun of the people buying gold. There was one interview where the guy was like, the anchor was saying, what are you going to do? Go into a grocery store and scrape off some gold and buy your avocados? And I wish I would have been in that interview, because I would have said, no, I'm going to save my money in gold and then convert it to cash and buy the apartment building that you live in, and then force you to pay your rent in gold. That's what I'm buying it for. And I wanted to say who's buying gold. Media will say doomsday preppers and conspiracy theorists, but in reality, central banks are buying this. The IMF, the International Monetary Fund, they're the central bank of central banks. They're the top of the food chain as far as banking goes. They had this reclassified, I think, in 2021, as a tier 1 asset. So that was a big change. Who else is buying it? Billionaires, millionaires, nations. Some nations are buying it more than they ever have in their history. What else? I wanted to mention, before buying gold, any gold, make sure you're out of debt and you have an emergency fund and get your credit score up. I also did want to mention that Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution says that no state shall make anything other than gold and silver coinage legal tender in the payment of debts. So it's actually in the Constitution that this is money and this is not. And then at the end, I wanted to say, hey, if you guys want to learn more, there's a couple channels I want you to subscribe to. One of them is Salivate Metal, because he describes things better than I can, and he's entertaining and informative. And then Economic Ninja, also for a broader economic outlook of how to kind of strategize. I'm going to be buying some more real estate in the coming couple of years, And I'm going to document that. I'm going to show you guys on video what I'm buying. I'll walk through the property and show you, hey, this is what I'm buying and this is how I'm doing it. So anyway, I hope you stick around for the ride. Connor, I hope you're subscribed. I'm emailing you a link to this video, so you better be subscribed, mister. But anyway, I thank you. Thanks, Connor, for having me on. Your anchors were awesome. Everybody was cool. And down below, I will link the interview. Subscribe to Fox Business. They're a channel that seems to be doing pretty good. I'm not a big fan of mainstream media, but I think I like these guys. And so I'll link the interview and something else. Oh, and the Discord channel. Anyway, I'll forget half this stuff. Just remind me down below if I forget to link something. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you in the next video.